This is the Universal Wrestling Podcast. Inside the ring, outside the ring, it's all here.
We're talking about the greatest sport of all, professional wrestling.
Come on! And now, here's Nick and Keith.
Early to bed, early to rise. Watch WWE Chamber. Keith, with eager eyes, WWE is headed down under. The WWE returns to Perth, Australia this weekend for the first time since 2018. This event is a homecoming of sorts for your champion, Rhea Ripley. Keith, other than a lack of matches, which isn't a bad thing, I think the biggest thing that stands out is the times. I mean, this is different. We're not used to getting up at, 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be up since we have kids, or you know, we'll get up and enjoy it. But it's a big deal. I mean, times are different. This is a big pay-per-view. We were talking before we recorded. Keith, you said something along the lines of this is, one of the big pay-per-views, and it's just 4 matches. I mean, let's get into it. Talk a little bit about your thoughts, and then we can start to predict.
For sure. So yeah, it's real weird. Like the time change. Like it's definitely something. I listen to a lot of like British dudes talk about wrestling and stuff, and they're all like stoked for it because they're like, yeah, this is gonna be like a normal time like pay-per-view for us, because normally the ones that are in America, they're like getting them started at like midnight basically, and they're up till like 4 or 5 in the morning watching stuff and everything. So like they're all stoked for it and laughing at us because now we're the ones that are like, guess I'm getting up at like 4 to watch Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Always like the Chamber. I love a good gimmick match like that. It's cool that it's like the first, like, I use the word canonically or canon, like pay-per-view for WWE in Australia. They had Super Showdown in 2018, which was like, it's like the Saudi shows, like a house show, whatever. But it's a big deal. It's a big one. It's kind of tied into that. It sounds like there's been a lot of people in Australia that were like, they're not super stoked on the fact there's only 4 matches announced. I don't know though, because like there was only 4 announced for the Rumble also, and like that ended up being fine and worked out well. It gave, the Rumble matches had good time to go and breathe and everything. I think they're gonna do the same thing with this with the Chamber matches. So
absolutely,
they can be upset now, but I think it's gonna be okay. But I also get like waiting so long to get like this main show pay-per-view coming to your your country for the first time, and then it's like, all right, we're coming, and like here's 4 matches. And it's like, oh plus, man, like that stinks.
Plus a talk show segment,
Well, plus a talk show segment, plus already knowing going in that like Gunther can't be there. He's got like visa issues. Like Roman's not going to be there. Cody is going to be on here now, but like at the time, you don't know who's coming and not. So like hearing all these things of like, you're not getting this, you're not getting this, and it's like you're only getting 4 matches. It's like, well, that sucks, especially if you're spending the real money for it. So yeah, I get it, but I think it's going to be great.
And the only thing standing in the way from WrestleMania is another PLE, but that's for NXT. That is WWE NXT Roadblock. That should be interesting. That is on March 5th. So this is the last pay-per-view PLE before WrestleMania. Yeah. So, I mean, again, the story is, Cody, Rhea, can Becky get back into the title picture? There's a lot to get into. I think we should get into it. What do you think? Are you ready?
Sure. I'm ready to dive in.
Let's start with the undisputed tag team championship. That is the Judgment Day. Damian Priest and Finn Balor, your champions, will go one-on-one with British Strong Style. My boy Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne is back, baby. No more Butch. Keith, I'm just so excited. I mean, 4 matches. It's in Australia. The big picture here is Cody, Rhea, maybe Becky can get back into the title picture. But for me, man, this is amazing. I know for a fact Damian Priest and Finn Balor will win this match. But just to see Tyler Bate, my boy, get the spotlight, get some kind of rub, and return to the British Strong Style with, not Butch, with Pete Dunne is something cool. Again, I think we all know here, Judgment Day is going to go over. Keith, let's hear it, buddy. What do you got? And just, how you feeling about British Strong Style, the Judgment Day?
Oh, yeah.
It should be a good match regardless. What do you got, brother?
Absolutely. So I love that you're calling them British Strong Style. I don't know why we're not calling them British Strong Style, because their new name officially is the New Catch Republic.
Oh,
But that's
wow.
awful. Yeah, it's terrible. So I just wanted to bring that up that's what it's
No.
called. Don't call them
Yeah.
that because they should just be British Strong Style still. I
Well,
don't know why
Justin's
they're
not
not.
here to correct me, so.
I don't know why they're not. The only thing I can think of is because like maybe like Trent Seven owns it or something, or like originally
good
coined
point.
it, so they're trying to move away from that since they released him or whatever. But like it's crap. They should be British Strong Style because that sounds way better than the New Catch Republic. But like you just said there, like as much as I would love to see them win the titles here, they're not gonna. Judgment Day is gonna retain. But I'm also hoping, I know like it's kind of jumping the gun maybe a little bit because they're like just finally officially getting back together, but I'm hoping maybe the loss like starts to just starts to like maybe just starting to tickle the ground a little bit to sow the seeds for us to get back to Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. What would that be, 3 at this point?
Oh, yeah.
Because those guys, like, they can't have a bad match against each other. So
not at all.
Put them on the main roster. Let's start. Like I said, we're just gonna put we're starting the hole in the dirt for the seeds in this match, so that by next year's Mania, the plan is bloomed and we're there.
Yeah,
and we can get them somewhere on there, just beating the crap out of each other.
And I was really surprised too that they won the match on Raw against DIY. Excuse me. It just seemed like they were just set up, ready to go. Looked like they're healthy, and they, Bate and Dunn just got the win, and it was a clean win too. And I was like, oh my god! So that was another surprise factor for me. Tag teams are looking good. You got AOP, regardless of how you feel. You got DIY, not DYI, Jesus. And you got obviously the Judgment Day and British Strong, Banana Republic, whatever you want to call them. But it looks like that, Trips is really trying to do something with the tag team division. But I'm with you, man. It's Judgment Day, and it just makes sense.
For sure. I think I was a little surprised too that DIY didn't win that match. I think part of that is because as much as Trips is a very big DIY guy, he loves Gargano, he loves Ciampa, who doesn't? But like, I think there's still like this in between with them with the crowd. Like when they first come out, every match, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but like next time you like watch one of their matches, you'll not be able to not see it now. Like when their music hits and they come out, there's like not really much of a reaction, like ever. But then like a third of the way into the match, everyone's just like, oh man, and everyone starts cheering because they like remember like, oh yeah, these guys are actually really amazing and good. So like, it's a weird thing there. I feel like if they were getting bigger reactions, they'd push them more. But I think everyone was just so stoked for like, I think right now we're just also riding the wave, the high of Pete Dunne being Pete Dunne again, and Tyler Bate finally getting the call up after way too long not on the main roster.
I think that too, and you just brought that up, and it had me thinking like, can you really trust Ciampa now with how many injuries he's had? So maybe that's the factor too, and maybe Trips just didn't want them to lose because we all know they're going to lose. So have Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne get their day in the spotlight, but realistically, like maybe he's trying to build DIY, a little bit stronger. It wouldn't hurt DIY, and it wouldn't hurt British Banana Republic.
Right.
So.
The new Catch Republic, But no, you nailed it too. It's a great time. I feel like we're finally getting into like a great time for like tag teams again.
AOP's back, baby.
AOP is back. The New Testament or the Final Testament, whatever they're called, or I don't really care about.
I can't even keep.
I'm sorry, Scarlett and Carrion, but I don't really care about either of you. But AOP is back. That's awesome. Judgment Day's been doing great, whatever they're doing. British Strong Style is fantastic. The Profits are still doing great, even though they're in, what are they now? They're the Almighty or the Pride. Pretty Deadly. Come on, man.
Yes.
All of it.
It's
all around. It's all good right now.
Yep. The Judgment Day wins, buddy. Let's get to the next match here. This is for the Women's World Championship. That is Rhea Ripley, your women's champion, going one-on-one with Nia Jax, and they're really trying to sell this match, and I am all for it. I am not a huge Nia Jax fan, but I'm never going to knock her. I think she's here for a reason. I think this is why they signed her to go one-on-one, not, in Perth, Australia, but to have Rhea, give Rhea some legitimate competitors, and again, knock Nia for whatever, my hole, and, her smashing Becky's face and all that. At the end of the day, shit happens. You know what Jericho says? There's no botches in wrestling, bro.
Ain't ballet, kid.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the story, again, I think we know what's going to happen. It is, her homecoming, and there's no way Nia is going to win here. But I believe this is going to be a decent match. And I think this is a first test, not a test, I wouldn't say test, but this is a first match where it's like, okay, this is something, this will show us if Rhea's ready, not for the spotlight, but if she's ready to take the next step in her career, maybe going solo. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen, but
Right.
this is something, right? Is this, what do you think? Am I just looking too far into this, or is
No,
this
not
is
at
the
all.
next step to say, Rhea, come on, you and whoever, maybe Becky. Let's hear it, brother.
100% agree. I was definitely someone who used to beat the drum of kind of hating on Nia.
Yeah, well, it's easy
Beforehand, because it is easy, and it's one of those things that like
she
it's
deserves it to
it's easy to like when you put all of like the things that have happened involving her and stuff like side by side. It's easy to look at those and be like, oh, this look, but like.
Yeah,
It's not like that was like every single week those things happen. Yes, they were happening more often than it would for like another wrestler or another anybody.
yes,
Sure, but like like it's not like she's walking out there and just being like just breaking jaws on purpose, She's
yeah,
a little clunky in places and that's okay, it is what it is. She never wrestled before getting to WWE. It's just going to be a thing that happens. So whatever, but
yeah,
this is like I said, you kind of just nailed it with everything here. Obviously there's this is like the first like real like maybe not the next step, but I feel like it's the first like real like test
yeah,
for Rhea because this is a match with those two that like if we weren't in Australia, I don't know that I would be like, oh, it's definitely going to be Rhea.
yeah,
Like my notes for this one just say, "Mommy, enough said." Because like they're in Australia. There's no way they are if they have her drop it in Australia before WrestleMania, they are the dumbest people in the world. Like
yeah,
there's no way. Maybe it's not a clean win, whatever, but there's no way she's walking out of there not
yeah,
as the hometown hero with the title above her head,
yeah,
around her waist or over her shoulder or all of the
yeah,
above. But like I said, having said that, if this was happening, if it was Elimination Chamber, Austin, Texas, I don't know. I would have had a lot. I would have struggled with this one a little bit more of just like, they probably don't want to take it off of her before Mania, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. Because Nia Jax is a more like, I don't want to call her like equal, but it's like it's more of a threat to
yes,
her than
yes,
no hate in any of the names I'm going to say here, but like it's more of a threat to Rhea than like a Chelsea Green or a Liv Morgan even or a Zelina Vega. Exactly. No hate against any of those three. I love all three of them in their own ways. Maybe Zelina a little less than the other two, but like even with Zelina being a great example, even with it being in Puerto Rico, like Zelina's the hometown hero and everything. It was just like there's no way. There's
no
no
way.
way.
I think it was her first
here.
one too,
Not
right?
happen.
Yeah, first title,
First pay-per-view, yeah. Or nah, maybe it was. Yeah, I don't remember now. That was Justin. Let us know in the comments. But
I'm with you.
Like it was, it's just this is if we weren't in Australia, this would be more of a thing. But we are, and it's mommy. So like, no, Rhea's gonna retain.
Yeah, and I think there's one or two things here with this match that they want to get over. Maybe we don't have the right wording, but it's the next step, the next chapter, the next whatever in her title reign, and I think this is a good spot for Rhea to show some power. I mean, I think that's another reason why they brought Nia in. Yes, she is a different woman, and that's great, and she succeeds. Like she's not like most girls. So what do? Riptide, something like that, like make it not, Andre and Hulk. Obviously that's, we're not even comparing, but big moments, that's again what wrestling's all about those moments. Yes, you can have 5-star matches, but what do you remember? You remember Rock and Hogan looking at each other, you remember Hogan slamming, it goes on and on, the yes movement, blah, 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 Kofi and all that. You remember the moments, but this is not about moments. This is about PLE. Let's get to the next segment. I was going to say match, but it's going to be the Waller effect. He is also a hometown kid, and I'm telling you, the past few weeks we've been really, really spoiled with Seth, Rock, Roman, Cody, just, promo after promo after promo. And it's just been really good TV. You add Waller to that, and I think it's Waller's and Seth. Roman won't be there, so it's going to be Cody and Seth,
Cody and
as
Seth,
we
yeah.
know. The Rock, I heard maybe. I heard Roman maybe. I think this is just a cool off process, before maybe one of the chambers. But again, we have had really good TV when it comes to promos, and I don't expect anything different. I think adding Waller will be something, I don't want to say Piper-esque, but it's something he's good at. He's good at pushing buttons. He's good at making things happen. And right now, it seems like in this storyline, Seth and Cody are on the same page. Um, Seth said, "I'm here to help you. Look what I did to Roman. I was the architect now, or back then. Now I'm
Right.
whatever the hell he calls himself." But this is going to be interesting. I think we're going to see something here. I don't think it's going to be like a next chapter in Cody's book, but it's going to be a decent segment.
Yep.
That's all I can say. I don't look. I don't know what's. I don't think anyone's going to come back. I don't think Taker's going to rise from the dead. I just think it's going to be a good promo and a good segment. Let's hear it, brother. What do you got?
Yeah, it's gonna be great. You kind of paused back there. I would go bold enough and take all the heat for it to call Waller Piper-esque. Um, maybe not the same vein because it's like we're
Yeah.
just in a different world now, but like, I could absolutely see Waller, nailing Roman in the head with a coconut
Yep.
and shattering it on him just
Yeah.
because, like going Piper
Yeah.
spit on him with everything. So I can definitely see that. It's going to be a good segment. I think we are going to get The Rock in it. I think he's going to show up as a surprise
Nice.
for just the the kind of outcry that there have been from people that are like, "Oh, I spent so much money on this ticket so many months ago, and I
Yeah.
only got 4 matches." Blah 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 blah. It's a good handout. You give him The Rock to pop him with everything there. So I do think we'll see him, and I think because we're going to see him with Seth and Cody already there, I think this is going to set up what I had kind of mentioned on our stream last week of it's going to start the setup to Seth and Cody versus Rock Roman night one of Mania. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know if that's the main event on night one.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do think we're getting that tag match. I think that's how we get The Rock involved in
Yeah.
a WrestleMania match. Is it's going to be him and Roman versus Cody and Seth. So I feel like if we don't get that official setup here for this, I think we get more of the seeds planted for that to become a thing between now and April.
Well, it's all weird too because supposedly, before Rock signed the contract and Punk got hurt, this was Punk's pay-per-view, and this was
Right.
maybe where Cody wanted to finish his story because you heard it. He said, "I don't want to challenge you, Roman, at WrestleMania," and then a couple weeks later, "I'm challenging you at WrestleMania." So this is like it's like weird. It's very odd because this was supposed to be something. This was supposed to be, yes, the homecoming for, Rhea and Waller, but also maybe Rock and Cody. And I mean, come on, if you've been living under a rock, I mean, the men's chamber was Punk's. That is just how it was going to go. And Punk's hurt. Maybe we'll see him. I don't know if it's in this segment, but again, it's going to be.
We'll see him too.
This is going to be a segment that is worth watching. I just, what's going to happen? I guess again, I'm intrigued. I want to know what's going. Yeah.
My only thing with it is I hope it doesn't go like too long.
Yeah.
It's unless they're gonna do. I don't think they're gonna do it this way, but unless it's gonna be something at like the end of like it's gonna cap the night off like they did with what was that? Was that last year? No, WrestleMania 36 with KO and Austin on night one.
Oh yeah.
Like the end of night one was the KO show with Austin, and they have their match and everything. That was great because it was I don't know that this is big enough to take that spot at the end of the only night of a pay-per-view there. I don't know if that's going to work out that way, but if it's not, if it is going to be, if the match card's going to go the order we're going in here, and this is like right in the middle of everything, I don't want it to be too long. Short and sweet. I'm not trying to sit through a pay-per-view like talk segment.
Yeah. Well, if you
So
think about it too, stadium entrances, you got Cody, you got The
exactly,
Rock, you got Seth, and the crowd
exactly.
sings with him for 10 minutes. They will
It's
with
already
Cody
gonna
for
be too
8
long.
minutes. Yeah. And Rock is doing whatever he does. So, yeah. Um, Enough of that. Let's get to the chambers, Keith. Let's start with the women's chamber match. That is Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Raquel Rodriguez. Keith, this is something special. We don't get to see this every other, I don't know, month. This is what it's all about. It's about the chambers, and I think this match is, I don't want to say up there. I guess, hindsight's 2020. Rumble match for men's was blah. I mean, we knew that the women's match
Right.
was really good, and you even said maybe one of the best.
Yeah.
I don't see how this disappoints. I mean, yes, there might be an obvious winner here, but you got Raquel, who's finally back, and they need her because she is just another giant for Rhea or Becky or someone to go one-on-one with. You got, everybody's favorite Liv Morgan. Tiffany looks like $1,000,000, and I think we all expected that if you
Yes.
watch this show. Morgan, like I said, Naomi, that's cool for people. It's blah for me. So, what do you got? Let's hear it. I mean, excitement level, and who let the dogs out?
I know, right?
Who? What do you got,
No,
brother?
excitement level's high for both the chamber matches. We'll put that on the table now. I'll repeat that again when we talk about the men's, but excitement level for both the chamber matches is up there. I'm thinking I'm always excited. I said at the beginning of this, like I'm always excited for a chamber match. It's one of the cooler like new
Yeah,
concepts for a match. It's always brutal and everything. It's always like there's always I'm like maybe not always. Some of the earlier ones had some different things when they're still getting their feet under them. But like over the last couple of years, there's always like a big good something that happens in the chamber matches. Whether it's Montez Ford dropping off the side of it, Bronson Reed having to take everybody's finisher to
yeah.
get him down last year, Logan Paul showing
Theory.
up and
Yeah.
exactly like there's hell, friggin' what was his face? Tucker in Heavy Machinery doing the
Oh
senton off the top
yes,
of the
yes,
pod, like out of
yes.
nowhere for the tag team. There's always good
Classic.
moments. There's always things that happen, so they're always going to be great. For me, like a week ago, I would have been like Becky is going to win this without hesitation. I still am going to go with Becky winning this, but for some reason, like Raquel winning
Yes.
the battle royal last night and going into it is like kind of throwing a wrench in everything for me.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna stick with Becky, but like
Yeah.
there's like it's honestly like with this and with the men's really like there's like 4 of the 6 people competing in this, like 4 of the 6 women competing in this. Like I want them all. I want all 4 of them to somehow win. Becky makes the most sense to
Yeah.
me because I feel like it's going to be her and Rhea at Mania anyway. But like, I would love Tiffy Stratz to win because she's got time. Like, I would
Yes.
love for her to win, but there's plenty of time for that.
Yeah.
Raquel is a very believable winner. I know we've done her and Rhea before, but that's another one. If you're talking about like just like
Yeah.
we talked about with Nia Jax, like that's her and Raquel at a PLE in Texas again or freaking Connecticut, wherever, somewhere in the States. I'm having some questions there. Like maybe something might happen here. Maybe Rhea will drop it or something.
Yeah.
Liv coming back, riding high. She's got the history there with Rhea. That would be an awesome win. That story's already written for it. Like
Yeah.
there's a bunch. Like out of everybody, like any of them could feasibly win it. But I think it's going to be Becky. Makes the most sense story wise.
Yeah.
I know what we're leaning toward anyway. But it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really good. I don't see how it can't be with everyone that's in it.
Exactly.
Prettiest moonsault ever off of a pod. That's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You know what? For me too, I don't know if this is just different regime, but it just seems like the past regime, and we won't say his name. He'll be Voldemort on this podcast, but it just seemed like Natalia was at it, Shayna was at it, and yeah, it was Shayna's time, and she killed it that one chamber. But for me, this chamber is like it all makes sense, like, and they're all believable. And I know we didn't really discuss much about Bianca, but she's believable too. I don't
Totally.
think she's going to go one-on-one with Rhea at
Yeah.
WrestleMania, but it just seems like there's something for everyone here. You know, there's
Absolutely.
Livs, there's the Raquel, there's the Tiffany, and it seems like we finally are understanding, not we, but you know, maybe creative or Trips or whoever. It's like, okay, this chamber needs competitors. And yes, it's cool to see Natalia. It's cool to see Shayna kill it, but these are believable. I can believe Morgan can beat, you know, the 5 other competitors and face Rhea. But I'm with you. I think I've said it in the past. I think when Becky's ready, it's going to be her title. I think she's ready, but I don't think it's going to be her title at Mania. I still think if it is going to be Becky and Rhea, I think, you know, Rhea might go over there. I don't know, but I'm sticking with it. Becky's going to win here. I think it's the seller. I think it makes the most money ticket wise. I think it makes the most money promoting this, have radio spots, you know, Becky doing the guest appearances. I think that's what I want to see. I mean, yeah, it would be cool to see Raquel. What did I say a few years ago? She's going to win the Rumble. Last year, she's going to win the Rumble. This year, she's going to win the Rumble. Like, I'm there. I want her to win, but again, she just returned. Liv just returned. Tiffany's a rookie. Belair had her time in the spotlight. Naomi just returned. So it just the lines they're all pointing to Becky, and I'm all for it. You know.
Hell yeah! It just like I said, it makes the most sense. It's the most. While you were saying like any of them that would win it, if any of them wanted it, would be believable. As like a good feasible opponent for Rhea at Mania, it's Becky's going to be the one. You know what I mean? Like, they'd all be good matches, but like, you just, you know, you think again in like in terms of like the pops, the moments like we were talking about. Like, what's going to be the bigger moment in Philly? Is it going to be here in the for Bianca to come out to start that?
Was pretty good.
That entrance, or is it going to be the you know, the whole lake just blowing up, just whoa,
and it's believable.
Exactly.
You know. It is, and we're podcasters. We've watched wrestling for enough years. We know, you know, we can throw around the word believable, but we all know it's Becky. I mean, it just makes the most sense. And like you said, Philly, Becky, again, you know, Becky had a kid, then she had that feud with Trish, and it just was like, what are we doing? Lita, it was like, okay, maybe take some time off. She comes back, and this is it. This is her number one contender to win. I mean, it makes sense. Yes, Tiffany would be cool. Liv would be cool, but Becky it is, baby. Let's get to the chamber match. Let's get to the men's chamber match. It is Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, L.A. Knight, KO, and Logan Paul. Keith, this is you know, kind of like the men's Rumble. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun to watch. It's just we know what's going to happen. And maybe not so much we know with the Rumble, but with this, it's just like, okay, we're seeing where the stars are aligning, and it just makes more sense. Maybe this guy's going to get it. It's going to be fun to see LA Knight with a different set of crowd, different, you know, in Australia. It just seems like those fans want it a little more just because they don't see it often. So that'll be fun. Lashley, you know, again, we can throw around the believable word. It's not believable. KO, he's just inserted. It's kind of like the Rumble. Logan Paul has a title, but he's inserted. Orton's there. He's a veteran. You could see that maybe, but the stars are aligning for Drew McIntyre. Let's hear it before we make our predictions. What do you got here, brother?
It's gonna be a really good match. I think this chamber is kind of like you were saying. Like, I think the winner is kind of a foregone conclusion here. I think this is gonna really, though, looking at the participants and everything that are in it, I think this is gonna do a lot more to also help set up more for Mania. Because I'm still very convinced we're getting Logan Paul, LA Knight for the US title at Mania, and Knight's walking home with that, which is gonna be awesome and a huge pop for him in Philly. But
please, Knight too.
They're both right. I know. They're both in the match. Like, I think this is a good place to get that started. You got KO and Paul in there too. They have some history from last month, so like, there's more stuff going on there. We can get Randy started on something if it's going to be Randy Lashley at Mania, if it's going to be Randy KO at Mania, into that too. It's just this is one of those situations where it's just like, looking at the participants that are in it, you have every style across the board that you could want. So there's no
Yeah.
way this is going to be like a bad match. Like Drew and Randy are kind of the same sort of like technical, but like bruisers and everything there. You got KO who can, he's the new, like, he can get a good match out of a mop. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to do great there. You have Logan as like the celebrity thing who can also do a little bit of flying around and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You have Lashley that's just the straight powerhouse that's going to take dudes' heads off left and right, make those cutoffs. And then you got LA Knight, who's a little bit of KO, a little bit of Randy sort of style, just different, old school. Can work in the crowd really well. Like, you're going to get everything you want in this. You're going to be hard pressed for this to not be a good match.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like we've both been dancing around it anyway, so just outright say it. Like, this is Drew's match to win. Drew is gonna take this here out of any of them. Mostly because he makes the most sense storyline wise of what we've been getting already leading up to all of this, and how he prayed for Punk to get hurt and everything and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Drew's doing great heel work right now. Whether or not you think he deserves the title, like, he's just doing really good work right now with the mic stuff, like on the mic and everything like that. And just out of everyone that's in there, he makes the most sense to go after Seth with things. Like, we've seen Randy Seth in the past at Mania already. Like, I don't really need to replay that one. Lashley's kind of got his own thing already going with the Prophets and the Last Chapter Testament people, whatever, you know. KO is kind of in the middle of stuff. I don't know where he is going to end up with at Mania. Like I said, maybe we get him and Randy sowing seeds for that. I'm down for a Randy KO, you know, solo, just something, just let's beat each other up at Mania sort of thing.
Yeah.
Logan Knight's already getting going. Like, any of those guys are believable sort of to go after Rollins's, but like the only one that like I can really see happen, they're all believable, but like Drew is the most believable out of them for me. Mostly just because Randy's getting toward like the end of things. So like, let's let him do whatever he wants to do. And if we don't need a title on him, you know, he's good. He's already great. He's already solidified. He's going to the Hall of Fame. We don't need him to win another new belt or anything. Like, so he doesn't need that match anyway.
Yeah. And I think what you said too, I just thought about it too. It's, you know, a lot of these competitors are going to go one-on-one with each other, maybe down the line, maybe at WrestleMania. So what do? You start it here. You get the little Logan Paul and LA Knight, maybe KO, Randy, Lashley, something like that. I mean, that I didn't think about that, but that's a step forward to, you know, the road to WrestleMania. I can really see that Logan Paul and LA Knight. I can see that setting up. Again, I don't want to say it's similar to like the men's or the women's, but you know, women's, we knew who was going to win. For the men's chamber, we know it's going to be Drew, and it just makes the most sense. Again, is that what you want? In my opinion, no, but he's the best heel in the game, and I would, you know, go one-on-one with anyone to debate that. I really think he's just that good. Again, it comes back to it being personal. Did he sign a contract yet? We don't know, but it just seems like he wants it a little more, and he's getting that spotlight that he I was going to say deserves, that he needs, and I think it's really cool. Keith, before we end this prediction show, give me something you want to see. I know you talked about seeing maybe Rock and LA Knight, you know, having a little promo, but is there something you want to see to say, okay, we're ready for WrestleMania? I know I put you on the spot, but we got Cody, maybe The Rock, maybe we got something going there. Bianca, Liv, that chamber match. I'm trying to waste time. You got Rhea and Nia.
No, we're good. I think I got
Let's
something.
hear it.
So I want to see there's in the I'll do things I want to see in each of the chamber matches, not just for the pay-per-view as a whole, but like really just in the chamber matches. I already mentioned the one. I want to see a prettiest moonsault ever off the top of one of the pods.
Yes.
Tiffy's got a great moonsault, and I want to just see a good angle, Kurt Angle style, just float, nail someone in the ring, get a pin, eliminate. Awesome. I think I also want to see in the men's chamber, with everything we were just kind of talking about here, some kind of involvement from Karrion Kross, whoever in the Final Testament or the Last Testament, whatever they're called. Some kind of involvement in the chamber. The same, like similar to the way they did it with Logan Paul and Rollins last year, where it's like, it was something last year when Rollins was in it where someone just got eliminated, so they opened the doors and were taking him out, and Logan kind of like snuck in and nailed Rollins, whatever, and got him eliminated, so then just like bailed. So like a similar kind of thing, like somebody, I don't know who, friggin'
Yeah.
KOs gets eliminated, and they're taking, or Logan gets eliminated. Make it parallel since it happened last year. So Logan got eliminated. He's getting taken out, and as the doors are about to close, it's just like, it's just Razor there, just like and just holding them open, like. And then Cross comes in and gets after Lashley, and then the Profits come in, and this whole like in between thing happens. They get taken out. They just continue their stuff getting going in Mania, but some kind of something like that. Maybe we even get the first like count out in a chamber, because like Lashley just gets taken out with them, gets taken out, and they're like, we have to close these doors, so like you're out now, Lashley. I'm sorry, and they just And that sounds kind of lame for a count out in the chamber, but you know what I mean. Like he gets taken out, he's gone, so it's just never gets pins and look strong that way, but continue their stuff.
Yeah, I love it. I just got one, and I brought it up earlier. I want to see Logan and LA Knight at WrestleMania. I think that is just a perfect match to see, and I think it's time, man. It's time to give it to LA Knight. So let's see that feud start to brew. Let's see that feud become something that we all want it to be, and we all know that it can be. Have something. I mean, even The Rock, if he's going to say something to LA Knight in the back, I know you've been dying to see some kind of interaction with LA Knight and The Rock. I just want to see this feud start, baby. I'm ready. 5 o'clock, baby. Get ready. Keith, give the people what they want. Where can they find you?
You already know I'm on X at Keith of the Ring. I'm on Instagram at _Keith of the Ring, and I'm on TikTok at Keith of the Ring.
Yes, sir. With our new fancy logo. Thank you for tuning in. You can find us on X at the UWPod, Instagram at UWPodcast, YouTube and TikTok at the UWPod. And Keith, we have a fancy website, UWPod.com. Enjoy this PLE. Have a good one. Peace.